Hi, welcome to Achki Chop. I'm Krista and I'm back today to make Shish Tawook, a beautiful marinated chicken recipe, and I'm going to be doing it using my brand new meze origin spices. So let's get started. So this is our very first product from Meze. It's Origin Spice Collections. These collections are a collection of spices from very specific regional cuisines, and our first kit starts with the Middle East. These spices took 4 years to source. They're collected from the best producers from around the world. We import them whole and then we mill them in small batches so that you can get the freshest, the most potent, and the best quality spices in your kitchen. Okay, so the first step in making Shish Tawook is making our Baharat spice blend. So Baharat in Arabic actually means spices. You can buy Baharat already blended from a Middle Eastern market, but I actually prefer to make my own at home. Then I can get a custom, perfect balance of flavors that I'm looking for in my cooking. So I'm gonna start with cardamom. So they're beautifully fragrant. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a couple of them and we're gonna peel them open. We're gonna take out the little seeds and we're gonna crush them up using our mortar and pestle. You can do this by hand like I'm doing here. This is a great way to get a custom grind on your spices. So if you want them really coarse, you can crush them less. If you want them really fine, you can crush them more. And then that also helps determine how well the flavor gets spread out into your cooking. But if you would rather not do it by hand and you just want a consistent blend, you can use a spice grinder or you can actually use a coffee grinder. Just make sure it's super clean so all those coffee grinds don't end up in your spice blend. So once we get our cardamom ground, we're gonna add that to a bowl and then we're gonna move on to our whole cloves. So again, the reason you want to use whole spices for certain spices is they have a lot of beautiful essential oils. And the second you grind them, those oils start getting released, and that's where the smell and the flavor kind of goes. So the fresher you grind certain spices that have heavy oils, the more pungent the flavor is going to be in your cooking. So I'm just going to use 3 whole cloves. The other great thing about using whole spices is you use less of them. So especially these spices that can be a little more on the pricey side, like cardamom and clove, if you have them whole, then they go a lot further, and you're actually going to save money. Okay, so we've got our clove and we're gonna add that into the same bowl with our cardamom. So 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of allspice, and then we're just gonna add 1 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1 generous tablespoon of coriander. Last but not least, we're gonna add a little bit of turmeric just for color because it makes the chicken look so vibrant and beautiful. Give that a little bit of a mix. Now every region and every household has their own version of Baharat. This is my version that I love and I put on everything. This spice blend, it's kind of like an everything spice blend. It's an all-day, all-purpose spice blend that I can put on steak, chicken, fish, veggies, salads. It goes a really long way. So once this is mixed, you can actually make a really big batch of it and you can put it in an airtight container like this and store it in a cool, dry place like your spice cupboard for up to 1 year. Okay, now it's time to trim our chicken. So I've got both white meat and dark meat here. This recipe is traditionally done with dark meat, but if you have a preference to white meat, then it will totally work. You just have to watch your cook time. It's not gonna take as long. So we'll start with the dark meat because that needs a little bit of love. We're going to trim down the fat and cut it into cubes, about 2-inch cubes. Because you're gonna have to put the skewer through them and you wanna make sure you have enough meat so that they hang onto the skewer and they don't fall off while you're grilling them. So make sure that if you're doing both white meat and dark meat, you're keeping your chicken separate because the dark meat is gonna take a little bit longer to cook. You also wanna make sure that the pieces that you're cutting the chicken into are relatively the same size, so that way they'll cook through evenly. If you have some pieces that are really small and some pieces that are really big, then you're gonna have trouble getting an even cook all the way around. Now we're gonna move on to making our marinade. Now this is a yogurt-based marinade. And the reason why we do yogurt for this marinade is it helps to tenderize the meat and keep all of the juices locked in. So the first thing we're gonna do is just add some freshly pressed garlic. Then we're gonna add some fresh lemon. I like to use both the zest of the lemon and the juice of the lemon. So in order to not waste anything, we add the zest first, cut it in half and add the juice. Next, we're gonna add our yogurt. Now, it's really important that you use a full-fat Greek yogurt when you do this. The reason for that is that all that fat that's in the Greek yogurt is gonna then get into the chicken and it's gonna keep it super juicy and moist. And we don't want our chicken to dry out. And we're just gonna give that a nice little stir. Start by folding in the lemon juice and the garlic. So once we've mixed that in, we're gonna add our beautiful spices. It literally smells like a spice market in here right now. It smells so beautiful. Okay, we're gonna give that a quick stir. We're just gonna season this with some kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. Give that a quick stir, okay, and then we're just gonna taste it. Now, you'll notice that we haven't added our chicken yet because this gives us an opportunity to perfect our marinade before adding the chicken in, taste it, adjust the spices however we see fit. So let's just give this a little. It's a little tart. Those lemons were pretty strong, so I'm gonna add a little bit of honey to balance out the flavors. Okay. Let's give that another taste. Woo! That's perfect. So now that we've got the marinade tasting the way we want it to, we can marinate our chicken. And give that a nice stir. You want to have the chicken evenly coated all the way around. Add the chicken thigh. Again, you want to keep these separate. All right, so we're nice and even on our marinade now with our chicken. We're going to cover that up, put it in the fridge, marinate it at least for half an hour, ideally at least 2 hours if you have the time. Or you can do this the night before and just pop it in the fridge. So now we're just gonna chop up some onions while our chicken is marinating. We're gonna add some raw onion onto the skewers because it's gonna add a lot of beautiful flavor. So for the onions, we want them in nice big chunks. So we're just gonna give that halfway through and then cut in like 1.5 to 2 inch pieces. And break them apart in a bowl so they're really easy to grab and add to your skewers when it's time. And then we're just gonna cut up a few lemon wedges for our chicken when it's done, just for garnish. Now this part can get a little bit messy, so I'm gonna throw on some gloves. So we're gonna start with our dark meat. And we're just gonna alternate between chicken and onions. When you add the onions, be gentle so that they don't break, or else you'll very soon run out of onions. All right, so I'm gonna finish skewering this chicken and then we're gonna take them outside and put them on the grill. Now it's time to grill our chicken. So we're just gonna leave the chicken on the grill on one side for about 10 minutes. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and then when it's time, we'll flip it over and we'll do both sides. And especially keep an eye on the breast, because don't forget that's gonna cook a little bit faster than the chicken thigh. All right, so our chicken is done. I kept an eye on it the whole time. It's really important to keep an eye on it because especially when you're cooking with coals, it's a little unpredictable, the heat, so you wanna make sure that it doesn't burn. If you don't have a grill or if the weather doesn't permit, you can very easily make this recipe in the oven. Just pop it onto a tray, cover it with aluminum foil, and bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then remove the foil, kick it up to the broil setting, and roast for about 2 minutes on each side just to add a little bit of color. And now we're gonna dive into making a little sandwich. We have some pita bread. So we're gonna add some garlic spread or toum. Pull the chicken off the skewer. And we're just gonna add a pickle. And I like to garnish my sandwich with a little bit of fresh sumac as well. And then a little squeeze of some fresh lemon. So there you have it, our recipe for Shish Tawook. We made a little sandwich out of ours, but you can also just serve it with rice and enjoy it with a nice fresh salad. You can get your spices at mezespices.com. The Origin Spice Collection is available with all 6 of these beautiful spices included. So we hope you enjoyed this beautiful recipe for Shish Tawook. Thank you for watching Achki Chop. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe especially. And stay tuned for our next recipe. See you soon.